Welcome to episode 5. Okay, London, being one of the most diverse cities on the planet, has a huge Afro-Caribbean population, and it's only right that black characters should really be turning up on this show with more regularity than they already are. So when the makers of the show realised that it kinda looks bad that they've had exactly one black character in 4 episodes, they decided to do an episode concentrating on the Afro-Caribbean community. Wonderful stuff, except that they chose to make it about voodoo, the most stereotypical subject matter possible. Well done! We open on a tacky voodoo gift shop, the like of which you don't really find outside of Haiti or New Orleans. This woman is doing a ritual and is about to sacrifice a chicken, but is interrupted when these guys just walk into her house and stab her. Oh, the irony, she's about to sacrifice a chicken and she gets sacrificed herself. The kids then run off with this jug, and I wonder what sort of tales the chicken will tell his mates down the pub later on. After the intro, we see these two, one of whom is played by the woman from Fear Her and Bone Kickers episode 4. Review over! I hate this episode! Have a nice life, everyone! Oh, okay, I've been told if I don't continue then something horrible and incredibly off-screen will happen to me, so here I go. The visual quality looks similar to episode 1 again. Oh dear. They're young and in love, so they come close to fucking on screen within seconds. I won't say anything about the possible accidental racism of having these two being easily the most sexualized characters in the series so far. But I'll think it. That's good accidental racism. Now, you might say that Rex from Vampirology was more sexed, but really it took him minutes to kiss anyone. Finally, the guy decides he has to leave. Listen to that incidental reggae music. Not saying anything. The guy works as a social worker and he's off to visit an elderly woman that could be living in the same street as Sarah Jane Smith. That's weird. The elderly woman's daughter does this.
I was wondering, who does she see?
Okay, so was it an automatic Addams Family type door, a ghost, or just the daughter being needlessly creepy? How restrained. And stupid. Thanks for that. So we go upstairs, and won't the unnecessary red light bulbs everywhere strain people's eyes? So they talk. She knows his name for some reason, and even though they state that she's from Haiti a few times, she doesn't actually sound very Haitian.
There is a child amongst your papers. A child that is missing?
He's only been missing 4 days. There's no way you can know that.
So yeah, she knows shit about a missing child whose disappearance hasn't been released yet. Yes, as a reaction you're supposed to give to this information, Mr. Social Worker, it's called going to the police. But because the police are apparently investigating homeless cleaners bursting into flames or covering up for Rex, he decides instead to take her to where the boy went missing. A graveyard that's got a fire. I'm pretty sure that's sort of illegal in England. So she is shown the grave where the boy vanished and seems to be allergic to the soundtrack. They then come as close as they ever do to explain why no one ever goes to the fucking police in this episode.
Police? They shuffle about and drink tea, that's how they are. I don't talk to them, and nor will you when I show you what is to come.
She then points out a voodoo carving nearby.
That is the Veve of Baron Samedi.
The guy then goes home and reads about voodoo because apparently he's not only decided that the police are shit, but the rest of his cases as a social worker aren't worth bothering about. His wife arrives, apparently she's Haitian too, because it seems that England might actually have a bigger Haitian population than even Haiti. She then wants to have sex because she knows that one day they'll have a supremely irritating daughter who will gain the ability to capture people in pictures thanks to the power of bad writing, and that's a price worth paying in order to get laid. Then this happens.
I mean, what do I tell my children? They have a father who learnt everything about being black from rap music, and a mother who's only too happy to forget she has any black in her at all.
So later on, the guy's in town and sees a guy running like a cartoon character, and he immediately decides that it's Papa Legba, the spirit or Loa that the elderly woman blamed for the disappearances. How he identified a fictional character like that, or why he assumed it was him, doesn't really make much sense to me, but he follows him, and boy will he be embarrassed if it turns out to be a homeless guy out jogging. So he chases Legba into an underground bar, because where else would a voodoo spirit go, and there he sees him kissing a dead teenager. Legba then rushes past him and escapes. 1. How the fuck did you manage to lose him? 2. Why was Legba running to the kid? The kid he wanted to molest was in the middle of doing heroin or something. Surely a spirit who knows where the kid is also knows that he can't fucking run off. 3. How the fuck did you manage to lose him? So he's lost, and just to be confusing, the episode has another guy who's dressed just like Papa Legba in this shot. The guy then notices that he managed to tear off part of Legba's coat. Maybe take it to the police and tell them that you saw an old man molesting a junkie in the toilets? Oh, of course not. Back at home, his wife is remembering her grandfather from Haiti. Of course, he sounds Jamaican.
Would you like to hear more stories?
No stories.
Because Jamaica and Haiti are really the same place. Would it have killed the makers of this to realise that they speak French in Haiti? Then her cross bleeds and she freaks out and goes to a church to pray, which won't really help if she's been hurt by voodoo, because voodoo is a mix of traditional African religions and Christianity. Her husband talks to a random guy met in the bar, the same bar that he saw the guy molesting a junkie in. The random guy talks about voodoo, and the main character buys it all very easily. I'd be so amused if this random guy who seems kinda stoned actually was, and was just making it all up. Okay, this is what's going on. Legba is kissing people to make them possessed by other Loa, the disappeared kid is going to be the vessel for Baron Samdi, and the drug addict is going to be a vessel for some guy who's all about snakes.
That is the Veve of Dambala, the spirit of snakes, who can only rise in the body of a man filled with venom.
I don't know if this means drugs or if Legba actually pinned him down and shot him up with actual venom. Either way, it's dodgy as fuck, and Legba is looking for a third vessel, a woman who's feeling scorned, and you can guess where this is going, can't you? I don't remember her being scorned, but okay. My theory is that she was chosen because she's the only attractive woman in the cast who's black in this episode, but what the fuck do I know? So he goes home and immediately deduces that she's not his wife, because of the hilariously digitally lowered voice in the Subdi Amanda Gallus soundtrack.
You're not my wife.
A wife isn't me.
You're not going to get what you want.
Something tells me different.
So after a night of very Klingon sex, the guy goes to see the elderly woman and gets tarot cards read, because that'll help and all. Then there's a long bit of exposition, and the upshot is that the jug stolen at the start of the episode belonged to Papa Legba, and he's doing all this to get it back. So the guy gives her part of Legba's coat and she goes off to smell him out using it, because she's part bloodhound or something, and the Loa break into the thieves from the start of the episode's houses. Of course, pale, immune to stabbings, he's another Walking Dead person in London. I hear they're getting their own part of town. They're calling it Little Necropolis. They ran the funeral homes out of business, but the zombie ethnic restaurants are divine. So the dreadlock guy picks up the thief's rat and eats it. This, of course, makes the thief's brain melt, because that makes perfect sense, and the kid stabs another in the eye with a cigar, and I'm pretty sure that's not what you'd see if that actually happened to you. And while all this is going on, the elderly woman talks to Legba, who's waiting for a bus to take him back to Haiti.
Can you think of a better way to go home?
The guy then goes to the elderly woman's daughter and just assumes because her mother has powers, so does she.
There are two paths in voodoo, Mr. Darrow. The way of the right hand is the way of worship. And the way of the left hand, that of magic. My mother will not follow the way of the left, as it is that which leads to evil.
You're not your mother.
Because you're related to your mother, I assume that you know everything she does. Look at Jamie Lee Curtis and Janet Leigh. So the leading thief was actually the elderly woman's son, which explains why he was in the house, but doesn't explain why he stole the jug. And then he tries to escape the possessed woman by jumping onto the bed.
Mrs. Robinson, you're trying to seduce me.
No, madame. Ce n'est pas pour vous.
But she's such an awesome zombie that bullets don't just not kill her, they can't even get through her clothing. Also, love the lack of recoil on the gun. So the daughter then sucks out the guy's soul so he'll be immune to attacks from the possessed people. Why? I have no fucking clue. And then this happens.
I bought you a new pot from Marks and Sparks. Didn't come cheap. Please, don't kill my son.
Just gave him a bloody good fight, huh?
Yeah, fuck the guys who were with him but didn't actually stab anyone and have already been killed. And their innocent pet rat too. Fuck them all! And then they attack the son and suddenly... Alfonso Ribeiro, smash! So Dreadlocks guy is either dead or something else, and then he cures his wife by way of his amazing kissing ability. But Baron Samedi breaks the container holding his soul, which makes him collapse. And then Legba and the elderly woman arrive.
Honestly, you can't leave your house for 5 minutes and...
Baron Samedi, come to me.
So yay for random spirit-sucking pedophilia, I guess, and everything's okay because the son's learned his lesson and all the dead people, well, they all had it coming for daring to not be main characters or something. And the elderly woman gives the main guy her soul to replace his, which was lost when the container was smashed. Now, I wonder if having an old woman's soul would explain the little bits of info we got about the father and fear her. And then the elderly woman dies of the knife wound from the start because she finally feels like it. This episode wasn't good. Wasn't terrible, but it wasn't good. It's on the low end of the scale. Not as bad as Fresh Meat, but it's still pretty bad. The stereotypes, the nonsensical story, the accents, the fact that no one goes to the fucking police. This is just bad. Embarrassingly so.
People from all walks of life are on their way to Reviewtopia, Internet's city of the future. Our scientists have been working around the clock to bring you the absolute finest in handcrafted reviews, humor, and entertainment to please the eyes and ears of every man, woman, and child. Everything you need will be found right here in Reviewtopia. Operators are standing by to reserve your spot and keep you in touch with our team of reviewers. Blast off into the future of internet reviewing entertainment at Reviewtopia!